Alright, you guys, I'm here. I'm just trying to find myself on the page. So, yep. I think Facebook hates me. I don't know. It looks right. Hey, Janie. This looks right on my phone, but when I go to my computer, it looks like I am broadcasting in portrait instead of landscape like I want to. So if I, if I adjust things, then it just looks really wonky. So forgive me, because I have literally spent the last half hour trying to figure out how to make this work right, and it is just not. But in spite of all of that, and in spite of the fact that this is round 2 of this issue, I have a really cute project that I'm really excited to share with you. So I'm glad you're here. If you're catching me on the replay, please forgive me for the technical difficulties since I can't get it to broadcast in landscape. I'm trying to get my phone zoomed out and enough space on the screen that you can see kind of what I'm up to. So we're just gonna run with that. I hope you guys will hang in there. Thank you. I'm glad it looks okay to you. Okay, so let me just enlarge this so I can see comments. And all right, there we go. Yeah, so welcome. My name is Christy. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Salt Lake City, Utah, and my business is Jade Card Creations, and I'm so glad that you're here with me. I missed you last week while I was in Napa Valley, and it was a wonderful trip, and I had such a good time, like just getting to be with my sister, which we don't get to do a ton. Hey, Janie. But it is nice to just kind of be back to the routine and getting back in my craft room, and all of a sudden it really feels like fall, and it really feels like it's time to start busting out Christmas cards and all sorts of projects that, you know, 3 weeks ago it was still just seemed too far away. So, all right, well, couple of things. Today's the last day of celebration, so if there is anything that you didn't get that you want, get that order in tonight. I think it ends at 11:50 Mountain Time. So, free items with each $50 order. If you decide to sign up as one of my team, I would love to have you. And there is a different set of benefits through Celebration if you sign up as a demonstrator. So you get the normal starter kit, which is an amazing deal anyway, plus you get a free bundle, which is as much as $50 for free. So definitely something to consider. The Queen Bees, we have a lot of fun. We do projects and just kind of shoot each other ideas and different things that we've made. So it's a great group of people. Let's see. World Card Making Day is Saturday. I am having a come and go gathering at my house. I can still take a few reservations if you wanted to get in touch with me. And if you're not going to be able to make it, I do hope that you will send cards on Saturday and post on my page here how many you sent, what you sent, something fun about that, and just kind of share the love and card making community. Then my next in-person class is October 25th, which is a Monday night. So you can register on my website for that. Finally, we have until October, I can't believe it's October 10th to sign up for the Peaceful Christmas Paper Pumpkin, and it is going to be beautiful, silver foil, and just really Christmassy. So it'll make 10 Christmas cards, and if you have any questions or want to see more about that, get in touch with me. And then finally, Julie shared, she won the drawing for the share 2 weeks ago. And so, Julie, you get your choice of the In Your Words stamp set, which was a Celebration Host special, or this is the What a Year Memories and More card pack. So it's got all sorts of little cards that you can use and stickers to design cards. So, Julie, let me know which of those you would like. And that is all that I had to say today. So, this is what we will make tonight. So I have this bundle, the Time of Giving, and it is actually what I'm going to use for my October class to go. And I was looking at it, and the dies are just a little bit different from a lot of what you normally see. And so I was having just a little bit of creative block. So this is always a good idea if you are unsure of how to use a project a product, or if you just need some fresh inspiration. Casing means copy and share everything. And so tonight we are casing the catalog, and I'll actually show you here. So this bundle is on page 61 of the Holiday Mini Catalog. And I think that's going to show without too much of a glare. Hey, Aunt Pat, thank you for sharing, and congratulations on that new baby. She's beautiful. So here is the card that I chose to make, and it uses the little snowflakes die. So I'm going to show you how I did it. And honestly, I think I did what they did, but I might not have. So, you know, turned out pretty similar. Copying doesn't mean, casing doesn't mean that you're necessarily doing everything exactly the same, but it's a great source of inspiration. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take a Just Jade card base, and somewhere I have tools. All right. So I'm just going to burnish that score line. So this is just a standard size. So 8.5 by 5.5 scored at the 4 1/4 on the long side. So I have this snowflake swirls stamp mounted and ready to go for us. And as I said, this is Just Jade, and we are actually going to use shaded spruce ink on this. So if you notice in the sample that I will put there so everybody can see what we're working towards, you just kind of stamp around the edges. And I am turning my stamp each time just to make sure that it stays kind of different instead of looking really organized and, you know, line by line kind of thing. And so this one I thought was interesting too, because often you don't stamp it all on the actual card base, and this just really makes a neat look. So I've done that. Now the other thing that I'm going to do so that I can just put away my stamping block is, there we go, I am going to take just a 1/2 inch strip of basic white cardstock and ink up my sentiment, which is Season's Greetings, and try to stamp straight without getting my head in the camera, and I think that'll work. All right, so I can put that away. Now the next, so I'm just going to set those to the side. The next thing that I want to do is take a piece of basic white that is, let me look at my measurements here, and the measurements are posted in the description of this video as well. So this piece is 3.5 by 4 3/4, and I am just going to take my blending brush that I use on my greens and ink it up here. Now I'm going to just rub off a little bit of the ink, and I want a really strong color towards the top right of this panel, and then I'm just going to come down, and it's going to get lighter and lighter as we go to the bottom left. And then I'm going to ink it up again and just kind of repeat the process, just putting ink on until I'm satisfied with the richness that I had gotten. Oh, I kind of miss soccer on Thursday nights. My kids are upstairs screaming. I don't know. They've been grumpy. So I'm really not sure what's going on there. But, okay, so I think that's looking pretty good. Just get a little bit more up here in this top corner. So yes, my fingers might get a little smudgy. No, I don't think it's a big deal. Typically, you know, you can just kind of wipe it off if you get that much on there. So we are done with the ink pads. I'm going to close that up. And the next thing that I want to do is take my Wink of Stella. And so I always store these upside down so that the color stays, you know, close to the brush end. And I am just going to take this and against my bone folder, I'm going to smack it a little bit to get some sparkle on here. And now the next thing that I want to do is take, you know, Janie, I usually do. I got done with my class the other night and I was covered in ink and it just, you know, it washes off after a while. So this is just an old aqua painter. Now we have water pens that are designed a little bit differently, but same concept. So I'm going to use that same technique and just splatter with a little bit of water. And that is just going to move the ink around on my panel here and kind of give some more dimension to it. All right, so I am going to set that off to the side now. And I have this beautiful piece of Designer Series paper, and it is from the Whimsy and Wonder Specialty Designer Series paper pack. And this is actually just white and silver. A lot of the pieces in this pack use, I think, Blushing Bride is what it is. And it's very whimsical, go figure. But very pink and just not your typical Christmas colors, but it's really pretty. And so, interestingly enough, what the designer of this original card had done was take, I'm pretty sure it was this piece, and die cut it. So we are going to do that now. So I'm going to bring out my cute little mini cut and emboss and try to do all this without shaking my entire table too terribly much. So I'm going to take my number 1 plate. Let's move this up here just a little bit. All right, and then a number 2 plate, and then I will set my panel on that number 2 plate, and then I'm going to put my die right up against the top edge and then centered from side to side. And just so that I don't have issues, because issues are how things have been going today. I'm going to get, this is really nice. It's Post-it tape. So instead of using a bunch of Post-it notes and, you know, feeling like you're just kind of wasting the paper, it's just the tape and you can cut it off to just the right length and everything. So now I'm going to put my second number 2 plate on top of this and just crank it on through. And honestly, we'll see. Trying to do this without shaking the table. So now that you've seen what I'm doing, oh, sorry, I might take it off the table just for the rest of them. Okay, so we got the first one done. I'm going to pop this off of here and all the little pieces are going to start coming out and flying everywhere. Okay, so now what I'll do is actually rotate my die and line it up again just like I had done before. Okay, and then we'll send it through again. So the die cutting Designer Series paper is a technique that doesn't sound like much, but it is one that I really just don't think of very often. and I think you get some really neat effects doing it. So that was part of what drew me to this card. Okay, last round. And all these little bits make such a big mess, but that's okay. So we'll finish popping out the rest of them here in just a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and run it through the last time. All right. I had gotten a pack of books from the library for my daughter, and it was called the Bedtime Bundle. So the librarians just put together books that, you know, are kind of all to a theme. So one of these books was Bedtime Superheroes, and it, you know, basically just trying to sell kids on going to bed, and if only it would work. That cute little girl just is not much for sleep. And the weather's changing, and I think she's having trouble getting her temperature regulated, because I know I am. So she's been waking up just needing somebody to come pull the blanket back over her. So that makes life fun, trying to function on less sleep than normal again. All right, I'm going to get this machine out of the way and set my die off to the side so that that doesn't get lost. And now I'm just going to sit here and pop out all these little pieces. And because the designer series paper is so much thinner than the regular cardstock, this I normally would have run through twice, but just one time did a great job cutting, and it's really coming apart easily. So yeah, you do get kind of a unique look with having the silver stripes just showing up in weird places. Maybe not weird, maybe unexpected would be a better word. So I think we've got just about all the little bits out there. And we can start putting this card together. So the first thing that I'll do is just take this panel, which has had time to dry now, and I'm going to do just a little bit of glue on this die cut piece. So this has been another weird week. Jonah doesn't have school tomorrow, and we had parent-teacher conferences this week. And so we got to meet with his teacher and find out all of the crazy fun things she's trying to do for the class, but also just to keep Jonah engaged. So she's such an amazing teacher. We just absolutely love her. But he's such a go-getter, and he always wants to be on to the next thing. And so the goals that she set for him are to really dig in and focus on, you know, whatever topic he's interested in, but really dig deep instead of just kind of scraping the surface like, you know, you normally would lean towards doing. So we'll see how that goes. He came home instantly after the conference, and her specific example had been an essay that he had done related to several composers that he had read about in a book that his Oma sent him. And so she wanted him, you know, to really examine, like, I guess part of it was about Beethoven going deaf. And so she wants him to look into how you can still compose music, or she had an example of a singer that was deaf but could hear vibrations through her feet. So that's how that looks, and some there pretty straight. I didn't do a perfect job, but that'll be okay. Now we are just going to pop this up on our card base. And so it didn't exactly follow her suggestion, but he came home and sort of composed a little piece on the piano that sounds very modern and very interesting. And so he's trying to figure out about how to expand on that and then perform it for his teacher. So he's such a cute little kid. He works so hard for her. So, okay, now I want to set this straight but off-centered to the left. And I think that looks just about where I want it. So there's that. And now I'll go ahead and just snip the end off of my sentiment. And we'll do that there. Now the sample had straight edges rather than the slanted. And I just didn't love that. I'm not sure why. So I thought just cutting on a slant like that would look good. And we'll put this just right on here. Okay. Now the original has real red snowflakes, and for this one I decided that I wanted to do Blushing Bride instead, just to give it a little bit different look. And I'd actually thought about putting, this ribbon is gorgeous, the edges are kind of frayed. So I had thought about putting some under the sentiment, but I just feel like that might get a little too bulky or just not right, so I'm not going to do that. With these little snowflakes, I am just going to use glue dots to stick them on. And we'll go right there for one. And another one down here. So I think that's looking pretty good. So you can see what we did with the water splatter and with the shimmer splatter, but it's really subtle. It just kind of adds to the overall tone of the card rather than being really in your face, you know, look at this facet of the card. So now the next thing I'm going to do is take some of my holiday rhinestones and my take your pick tool, which I keep saying I'm going to replace this putty and I still just haven't done it, but I think we can get away with it for another minute. Nope, don't like that there. Let's see if we can, whoa, went flying. Let's try it more like down there. All right, and then get another one in here. Then I'm going to take one of these just kind of lighter ones and go there. And I think that that is really kind of the card. So, because this card base is just a little bit darker, I'm going to line it with a white panel that is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to just take this swirly snowflake stamp again, ink that back up, and then this time I just want to go right up in the corner. Oh, and now I'm inked, so I made it all the way through, and this just barely got me. All right, let me just use my little chamois here. This thing looks so gross, but I washed it this morning with my towels, and it's clean as can be. It's just stained. So it is a really handy little tool. Okay, now I will glue this in. You could also decorate your envelope, whether you wanted to use just the stamp again, or if you wanted to actually use some more of that designer series paper on the envelope flap. Either of those would look really pretty. So get this centered up in here, and that is that. So what do you think? Do you like it better with the Blushing Bride or with the Real Red? I think they both turned out nice. I actually am kind of leaning towards the red, but Certainly either way would work. And might as well put some rhinestones on the original one, right? So let's get that done. And I think I can use some red on this one because the snowflakes are red. I really love playing with color and with different combinations of colors. It's just fun to see what happens with it. So there we go. Well, thank you all for joining me. Don't forget that if you could like and share my videos, that's a huge help to me in getting more people to see my page and see my videos on Facebook. And also, if you do share, if you'll comment in the thread of this video that you shared, then you'll be entered to win something next week. And I hope you will be back with me next week as well. And until then, have a wonderful week. And don't forget about sharing cards that you send as well. So thank you all for being here, and I will talk to you soon. Good night.